Welcome back to JRG Guitars. Up today, another episode in our Headless build. This is the episode where it all comes together. We left off last episode where we got the body and neck joined together, started to shield those cavities up, ready to accept electronics. Well, today we get those electronics in, we get it soldered up, we get it strung up and set up, and we see how it sounds. Here we go. Coming right at you. All right, so here we start off with our nicely shielded cavities there from the last episode, and I'm fitting in the pickups. So sliding in this humbucker, single humbucker configuration, and getting them butted up fairly closely, the neck pickup to the end of the fretboard there, and I'm sinking a hole in so that I can put that first screw in. I have a high and a low E string on, just so I can make sure I've got the spacing on there absolutely perfect. And set that in there, put some blue painter's tape on there just to mark it in. Drilled each hole individually. So there it is, nice and clean looking. Really pretty. Yeah, very pretty. So then we move on to the next ones, and I'm using my digital calipers, and I have a straight edge to get me on there nice and perfect so that everything is spaced out exactly where it needs to be. Again, using that high and low E string to fit it in there so I know I'm aligned properly. Putting the neck humbucker and then bridge humbucker in there, making sure the spacing is absolutely perfect, and then I'll feed in that single coil pickup in the middle there to make sure that it is set right in between everything there for a nice clean looking setup. And there it is, you can see aligned beautifully, that high and low E string helping it get centered on there perfectly, and sure looks nice. Now we'll feed in the electronics. Everything pretty much pre-wired except for the pickups to the switch and the output jack, so I feed everything in through the back, putting those nuts on there, and then the selector switch in, and then back here on the other side just a piece of cardboard to protect the body. And again, all I have to do is wire in the pickups to the selector switch. These are 2 conductor pickups, so there's no extra wires there or switches or anything to worry about at this point. So just getting it wired up. So I have the electronics wired up. I'm wired up to my output jack. Everything was pretty pre-wired. I just needed to wire the pickups to the selector switch, the ground to the housing on the selector switch, and I'm in good shape. The only thing that's missing is this little ground wire right here, which goes to the bridge. And of course, when I put my bridge on, I neglected to put that in there. So I've taken the saddles off so I can at least get to the 4 bolts, 4 screws. I will take the bridge out. I don't believe there's a hole. I don't require seeing anything. So I'll have to drill a small hole through to the cavity so I can feed that line up and then ground everything out. So just a little backtrack, but we'll get there. Unfortunately, this is not the first time I've done this to neglect grounding a bridge. So here we go. Just backing those screws out, and then I'll just move that to the side. Ready and prepared for surgery. So I can see the outline of the bridge. Don't know how well it'll show up on camera, which is basically here. My plan is to drill a hole right in this area because I don't want to interfere with any of the stuff. I can see these little holes that have been there. So I want to go right about here, angled over to here. This tape is where the border of the cavity starts. So if I start with my drill bit here, angle it over as hard as I can, straight to there, hopefully I poke through. Yeah, so there we go. It's when drilling a hole at a sharp angle, you have to start straight. It gives it something to sort of bite into. So I just knock it right there, and then I come in at as steep of an angle that I can get my drill motor to want to go, and just drill this through till hopefully I kick through to the other side. Luckily, all of this underneath the bridge, so hiding any of these holes that I'm putting in the guitar. First pass got me partially there. Then I extend the bit in there to get it just a little bit more length and get through and see if I'll poke through. I believe I poked through. Let's take a peek. Sure enough, pay dirt. So then just a matter of taking that ground wire, coming up through the other side, and I like to sort of unwind the wires a little bit to have them spray out in a flatter pattern. So I have them sprayed out, and then that way when it lays, it'll lay a little bit more flat, so I won't have anything sort of teeter-tottering on there, and I still have a good amount of conductivity there to make sure that ground makes the connection all the way through from the electronics up to the bridge. Continuity check on. So clearly if you go from string to string, you get continuity. So I now should be able to go from string to other parts of the electronics. Absolutely awesome. It's nice when things work out like they're supposed to. Here we are at the head. The ball end of the string is what will go into this, and this is my B string, so I just lock it in here and then pull it down the rest of the way. So with the string set there, I go ahead and put my little wrench tool into the bridge and align it so that the hole that is down in here, and I'll try to point to it, is sort of lined up to accept the string. Now, I don't need the string to be full length, so I will cut some off. I'm not sure how much I really need, as I haven't experimented much with this bridge. So I leave myself a couple of inches. I then feed that through so it actually is poking out the other side a little bit, and then I get some wraps going until I make a nice kink in the string, and then I just keep on going, making sure I maintain pressure on the top where the ball end is holding in, and then back here on the base where the bridge is, so it doesn't want to slip out as I'm winding. From some videos and such that I've watched online, the general agreement seems to be 2 to 4 wraps around this spindle gives you tuning stability in that it's not going to slip off, and it's also not going to be so much that it's going to bunch up and slip within the wraps also. And there it is, all done. All right, so there's the Headless Bill front and center on that little original composition I put together just to showcase this guitar. I think we'll call it the Headless Jam. Anyway, it was fun to put that little thing together, played all the parts with the exception of the bass guitar using this guitar and a little bit of help from Easy Drummer for the drums on that one. Now I'll run through some individual tone samples. I'll just give guitar isolated on its own, and we'll run through clean samples, running through just a Mesa Boogie on a clean channel emulator on my Line 6 Pod Go. Then we'll use a Marshall Plexi for some crunch overdriven tones, and then back to the Mesa Boogie on a lead channel on the modeler for some heavier tones as well. And we'll run through those samples just so you can hear kind of what it sounds like all on its own. Let's get after it. Little out of tune. Well, there we have it, folks, and here we have the guitar. So it is definitely a fun one, definitely a neat build. Very happy with the way this body came out, starting here in the back with the all black finish. Nice and deep. You can still see a little bit of wood grain accent in there. And then, of course, here on the front with the dark edges rolled in, leaving some of the knots and some of the little pits that you can see in that wood grain just to give it a little bit of character. Definitely a cool look. And the blacked out hardware trim, another nice touch. So very happy with it indeed. I would like to thank you very much for joining me along in this video and hopefully the previous videos along with this ride. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, enjoying this type of content, I would urge you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and press that button for notifications. And we'll be able to let you know the next time a video is coming out for you. So thank you very much for watching this episode and all the episodes here on JRG Guitars. We'll see you on the next one.
JRG Guitars.